All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to vlog number 24. And moving forward, I am Ronai with Anomaly, the agency.
And I'm Chynel with Chapter28Beauty.
Yes. And today we are actually just recapping. We know it's been a minute since we posted. Shout out to the loyal ones reaching out, asking what's going on. We have been trying to update as much as possible, but basically, we were relaunching. Chapter 28 Beauty had a whole grand relaunch. It was amazing. Shout out to everybody that attended. But yeah, so that's where we've been. That's why we haven't been able to record these past couple of weekends, but we are here now, and we just wanted to focus today's vlog on really just recapping on the night. So I mean, starting off, Chynel, how did you feel? How did you feel about the event as a whole?
The event as a whole was amazing. It was a good experience. I enjoyed it. And I
Yes.
definitely thought that I was not going to be able to enjoy it with all the issues prior to this event.
Right.
And all the roadblocks that came up, like literally down to the very last second prior to. It's just like no matter how well you plan something out and how many people you have involved, it'll go smoother than, otherwise. But it was still stressful for us. And the fact that I was able to enjoy the grand opening with the people that I love and my family members and my loyals, I couldn't be more happier. Honestly, it was great.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. I think, like you said, so many roadblocks as there usually are with events. I feel like anybody, it's the same with parties, events, everything. That saying, it's my party, I could cry if I want to. I feel like that's such a common thing because
Yes.
you're stressed out, you're annoyed, things didn't go 100% the way you wanted to, even if it was an amazing outcome, you know what I mean? And it's just not only that, but you're putting all this time and energy without even knowing for sure if everybody that RSVP'd is going to be able to come. So it's such a huge risk that you're taking, but nonetheless, I feel like you always feel good at the end of the day. You definitely look like you were having a great time. Everybody looked like they were having a great time. I was super excited about the turnout, honestly. I think, it's just true to who you are, you know what I mean, in that community, obviously, you know what I mean? Even though you're not necessarily born and bred in Virginia, it's like you have this wonderful foundation, you have this wonderful sense of community within the city just because doing hair and, networking and connecting the way that you do. And it really just reflected that during the event. So I thought that was great.
Nice. I mean, I didn't hear that part from you prior to this conversation. So yeah, I mean, I hope that the clients that you were able to meet, and it was all my people, you know what I'm saying? And it was like finally my support system here in Virginia Beach got to meet my support system in Pennsylvania.
Right.
And down to my cousins and everybody just really helping out, literally helping people get through the checkout process, fixing inventory last minute, feeding the people because, COVID-19 and all that, we still had to, stick to the standards and requirements. So everything kind of ran honestly better than I thought. It might have not went as smooth if it would have went as planned. So my clients definitely enjoyed it. And I mean, it's only up from here. Yeah. So
absolutely. No, yeah, I think, going back to what you said about like just following the COVID-19 guidelines and everything, I feel like before, going into it, I was kind of like a little nervous, like, okay, how is this going to go? You know what I mean? Especially because the location was still open to the public. And so I was kind of like, okay, let's see how this plays out. Like, are there going to be any issues? But it really wasn't. Like, I feel like when it came down to it, like, we all knew what we had to do. Wear your mask. When you sit down, you could take them off. When you get up, you got to put them back on. You know what I mean? Like, be respectful of everybody's distance. Like, I feel like everybody did a really good job of just doing that naturally, which is crazy to think about. I think hosting an event during a pandemic comes with a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
A lot of, am I doing this right? Is this going the way it's supposed to go? Like, are we violating? And I really didn't get that vibe at all. I feel like it flowed very naturally, which was great because the last thing we really wanted to think about at that moment was COVID-19. You know what I mean? We were there to celebrate something beautiful, but we also wanted to be respectful of what is going on. You know what I mean? So I think it really showed. I think it was great.
Yeah, and not. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say, not to mention, like, for those who don't know, I had to change the location and I had to change the time. like literally 2 or 3 days prior to the event. And that was hard because, number one, finding a place that was going to be able to accommodate the amount of people that I originally had RSVP'd to the earlier time was hard. And then I ended up having to cater for 30 to 40 people when originally I was only supposed to be catering for maybe 10 after the grand opening or grand relaunch or whatever. So, excuse me. So that was hard. That was a hard hit to my pocket, but it was definitely still worth it. You have to put money into your brand, and you have to not necessarily. I didn't have to sell my brand because it was all the people who knew me, who were there, who knew my brand for years now. So it wasn't any selling going on. But for the people who don't have a following and they're trying to start fresh with a new brand, it's all about, they want to see how much you're putting into your brand, whether that be money, time, just effort. They want to see that. So that was me showing the effort that I put into my brand to the people who have supported me and gotten me to where I am today. Showing them a little bit about their brand, because it's their brand too. So bringing them in, giving them a chance to see that this is us. You know what I mean? This is what we did. And when you come together, this is what it looks like when you help somebody grow and you're a part of something. So
right, absolutely.
For it.
Yeah, I definitely, like I said, I think that was just the vibe in general. Like everybody it was real, like, obviously you had family, you had friends, but everybody just seemed to connect really well. And that kind of just takes me right into the next question that I have is, what was the pivotal moment for you? Like, what was the moment where you were kind of there and you were like, oh shit, this is like happening. You know what I mean? This is the next step.
So the moment was, I was at the rack moving clothes, and I was like basically giving someone a size of like a shirt or a dress or pants or something like that. And just from talking to the customer to then talking to the person who was helping with inventory on the computer, just like going back and forth and making sure things were right. And it felt like a moment of just like chaos. It was like organized chaos, basically. And even though like I wasn't overwhelmed because I knew them, I feel like if it was people who, for instance, I was at a trade show or something like that, I would have been overwhelmed at that point. Like just looking like, oh my God, wait, I don't have all the answers. Wait. But just maintaining, your whole.
Maintaining your cool. I mean, like, because you definitely like were just, everything was smooth. And at one point you were even like, I need to open up a boutique. And I was like, yes, like you definitely seemed like you were completely in your element just doing that.
Yeah, definitely. Boutique is definitely coming.
No, for sure. And honestly, I think what was really great too is that you really did have a stylist support system, and everybody that was there was really helping as much as they could. You know what I mean? Like as far as your team, your squad. Shout out to Derek and Marissa with the tech support, because I really feel like they really came through. They both really came through with that. That I love seeing that too, because you're getting people involved and they feel like they're a part of the experience, and they're learning things at the end of the day too, because he was like, I'm not a tech guy, but I'm out here like doing all these things, figuring it out. And I'm like,
the whole nurse.
Right. Like now you know what I mean? You're experiencing it. So I thought that was really cool. Definitely. And Tassi. Okay. So she really did the damn thing. Shout out to her as well. She was serving food, getting drinks, cleaning up, Like she definitely came through. So major shout out to her as well, because it was just great. I just love seeing that type of support system. You know what I mean? A pivotal moment for me too, aside from just seeing you in your element, number one was the freaking food. Let's be clear. The food was banging. Like the food was banging. Like
shout out to Buco Resto Bar. They are located in Virginia Beach, pancetta, lumpia, and chicken tenders, and all of. Listen, bomb. They have so much food on their menu, but I always order and get them to cater the pancetta and lumpia. And if you've never had that before, I'm telling you now, if you come to Virginia, you need to go there. Yeah.
Yes. Shout out to Chef Judy, because she really chefed it up, like for real. They had the whole grandma in the back cooking, chefing it up, and she really put her foot in it too. Like The food was amazing. I feel like that really like gave it more of a homey feel too, because it was, you know what I mean? It was delicious Filipino food. You know what I mean? That's a part of who you are. Like you were just putting people onto so many different things. And then also just like seeing a mixture of like kids and adults, like, you know, there and interacting. I met one of our loyal followers too, which was another pivotal moment for me personally.
Yeah.
Because she like came up to me and was like, "Hey, oh my God, it's so nice to meet you." And I'm like, "Oh my God." Like, you know, it was just really cool. It was really, really cool. And I love that when you can go into an environment and you don't necessarily have to be the best of friends or talk every day or whatever, but it's just like that love is there. You know what I mean? That's one of the beautiful things of social media and just having that digital footprint that we have now, because you create these relationships with these people online, and then it's like when you see them, like it's all love, you know what I mean, and you're chatting it up and whatever. Like it was just really cool. Yeah, it was just all together, it was just a really good vibe. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. Yeah.
And also, like, let's be clear, obviously I didn't get as many people to come out because the time changed completely from morning to evening, right? But the support on the back end with the purchases that were made, you would have thought it was packed in there. You would have thought that we would have had 50, 60 people, because people were still purchasing online. And people were, you know, my followers who couldn't make it, some of them are still placing orders the day after, the next day, like, you know, keeping that momentum. Because one thing that it is, it's hard to keep that momentum after such a big event. Like the next day I was drained. So, you know, to have to go and actually the next day I had to wake up and do a client at 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was definitely tough for me. But having the people who, you know, oh my bad, I wasn't able to make it, you know, with the time change, but here you go. Like, I really like your stuff. You know, some of them were already burning their candles. They were already, you know, wearing their outfits. They were posting. And it was like, I didn't even have enough time to go in and share to the page or nothing like that. Like, you know, the stories and stuff. So, you know, it's just nice that I know that, number one, when it happens again, you know, we definitely know now what not to do and what to do, what to look forward to, how soon to start planning things like this, what to have in place, backup for this, that, and the third, because you definitely need it. And if I didn't have the support system that I had, I'd have been fried, died, and laid aside.
Right. No, and that actually brings me to, I guess, my final question is, what was the biggest takeaway for you during this experience?
The biggest takeaway is no matter how well you plan something, and I mean, well, because I had the people to help me and I had the money to do it. So no matter how well you plan an event, you still have to expect it not to go as planned. You still have to expect for a million things to come up at the last second. And it was nowhere near as bad as events that I've done in the past. Like, this was light work compared to, and the only thing that really changed was my support system and the amount of people who committed themselves to being there for me that day and to stick by me through the whole day, like from the moment we started to the moment we end, and allowing me to take the back seat. And for me, letting myself take the back seat. Okay, that person said they were going to handle it. Let them handle it. Don't be overbearing. Don't be barking down nobody's throat. It was not hard for me to do that with Tati, because when she gets in that element and she's planning something, and she wants it to go however she wants it to go.
Right.
Like, literally, you would think, and now Tati is now a family member. Like, she's a whole sister. People think we're sisters. If y'all don't know who this is, look at the pictures, and the one that looks just like me.
Yes.
So, you know, she likes things to go as planned, and she's very serious about her work and what it looks like to everybody. So the image is everything for her, and that worked in my favor this time. You know what I'm saying? Let her do what she needed to do, not overwhelming anybody else. She had it under control. So just let people, whatever they say they're going to do, let them do it. And whatever falls through, falls through.
Right.
Okay. One of the things we didn't have drinks. Like, how do we not have drinks? I forgot to get drinks. And because we were having it at a bar grill, like, you have to purchase drinks from them. So it was kind of hard to even do that, you know, like get a bunch of drinks and bring them in, because you can't do that with certain restaurants. So But hey, people were ordering their waters and their juices and stuff from the bar, and I left it at that. I didn't work myself up about it. You know, I provided them with an amazing meal and some amazing cake. Shout outs to
Right.
Pound Cakes by Jen.
Yes. Yes. Wait, no, can I just say that when I first saw this cake roll up, I was like, okay, so we're doing pound cake. Like, oh, that's different. Listen, I took a bite of that. I was like, no, this is not your average pound cake. This was not at all. Not at all. The almond, oh, whatever. I'm over it.
Yo, listen, so many people went back and ordered from her that next day.
For real?
Yes. And my cousin said that she ships. So you guys can order in Pennsylvania and she'll ship out your cake. So I'm telling you now, Pound Cakes by Jen, strawberry, almond, red velvet. I think we had all 3 flavors. And I had already tasted her cake, her pound cake prior to. There's no icing on it. There's nothing on it. It's just a pound cake.
Nothing. Listen. And there didn't need to be anything on it. Like, I'm not even, no, for real. Because like I said, I'm seeing it. I'm thinking she got like a regular cake with icing, whatever. So I'm like, okay, then I'm like, oh, this is like a naked cake. I'm thinking it's a regular cake, but with, no icing, whatever. And then Tassie was like, oh no, this is like pound cake. And I'm like, pound cake? Okay, that's different, whatever. I go to sit down, I'm eating the food, whatever. Everybody's like, did you try the pound cake? Like, you need it. I'm like, no, I haven't tried it yet. I get a piece of the almond. What? I was just like, no, I took a piece home. It was so moist. It was so, and it's not like usually when you eat pound cake, not only does the name make you feel like you gained a pound, but then like you put it in your mouth and you're just like, yo, like, I can't do this. Like, this is heavy. I'm feeling like I gained a couple. Not at all. It was like, it was so perfect. It was so moist. It was so delicious. And I did not at all feel like, ooh, this is too much. Like, I can't. No. Oh my gosh. Yes. Shout out to Jen. You did that. You did that. Absolutely.
Yes. And it's important, for us to import and support locals. And I try to do that with anything that I'm doing. I'm trying to always support. And if you got a good product or if you have a good service, like, people need to know. Like, I feel like I give a good service. I feel like I do good hair. So I expect people to share that. And when like people were trying to take the only card that I had for her, it was pound cakes by pounded by Jen. Whoa. So pound cakes by Jen. Everybody was trying to take that one card, and I'm like, no, just take a picture of it. Google search her. Has a website. She's located in Norfolk, Virginia. Yeah, y'all gotta check her out. But yeah, don't be a hater. Like, just support.
No, and then now that you're telling me that she delivers over here, first of all, you shouldn't have. So
right.
And so by the way, I just looked it up. So it's pound cakes, but it's not POUND. It's POWND cakes.
Yes. Like with like a boom like logo look to it. What is that?
Pound. Like yeah.
Oh, like the POW. Yeah, it's like the POW.
Yes. Like like the comic book, like POW, that. So Pound Cakes by Jen. And it's fitting. It's fitting, and that's it. I'm not gonna sit here and repeat what I said, but I said what I said, and you need to try it out. Now that you know it delivers, you have no excuse. She can ship it to the city. You're in. So like,
look, I literally put it in these. Well, Ronai went to the store and grabbed these craft gift or treat bags, and people didn't know what was in them. So like we had cut the cake prior and had them in the bag so that people didn't have their hands and were breathing all over the cake. So we had them in the bags and had them like rolled up or whatever. So people were like skeptical of even picking them up, and I was fine with that. You don't got to pick up not near bag in here.
Right.
Right. So I found myself saying, "Did you try the pound cake?" And they're like, "No, and they're like, "Okay." As soon as they tried, I'm like, "You might want to pick up 2. Seriously, you might want to grab 2." And it turned into some people eating 4, 5, 6 pieces. And don't blame me.
No, listen, so, it's worth the calories. I'm not even going to sit here and act like, and my thing is because like my grandma is such a baker that I have to limit like how much dessert I eat because I don't want to fall into that. Like, so I'm always hesitant. when I eat sweets in general right now. So I'm kind of like, so when it said pound cake, I'm like, damn, I don't know. But then when they said almond, I was like, oh, hold on, because it sounds banging, and it was so good. We're not, like I said, we're not gonna. This whole thing is not about the damn pound cake, but she really just needed her 15 minutes real quick because she did that. She absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
when you do things like that, you recognize great stuff, good things come to you. You know what I'm saying? Having her there and spreading business for her in turn will help. She don't got to spread my name, but anybody else, like it'll just come, to fruition.
Like return the favor. You know what I mean? The fact that people the next day reached out, ordered it, and everything, like that's beautiful. This is what supporting small businesses literally looks like.
What it looks like.
You know what I mean? This is it. This is the template, the blueprint, whatever you want to call it. When you have an opportunity, you're hosting an event and you have an opportunity to promote other people while promoting yourself, like there's nothing better. You know what I mean? Because they appreciate that. And even if one person had hit her up, or if nobody at all, you know what I mean? Whatever, they had the opportunity to have their stuff put out there by somebody else other than themselves. You know what I mean? So this is so important. You know what I mean? This is such a huge thing when it comes to events in general. You know what I mean? Be mindful of who you're letting in and who you're getting to cater your food, provide the drinks, the location, because I think you really did a great thing by everything that you did with the event was based on small businesses. You know what I mean? Like the location, the food, all of that. Like everything was just so small business focused that it just added so much more to the event as a whole, because it's like you got, like I said, because now next time I'm down there, I'm definitely going back to get some of the food. You know what I mean? Definitely trying to get the pound cake. I'm trying, so it's like you're putting people on. And that's what we need to do. That's what we're here to do. Like, come on. So definitely takeaway, to add to your takeaway, I think, of course, I think the plan B thing, the plan B, plan C, plan D, whatever, like, I think that was so good for both of us to experience because we were looking at it from two different perspectives. You know what I mean? Because the minute you were like, the studio's not done, first of all, in my position, I can't freak out because if I'm freaking out, my client's freaking out. You know what I mean? So I'm naturally like, all right, cool. In my mind, I'm like, yo, like, what are we about to, what if this is to happen? Whatever. But I knew we were going to get it done because naturally we tend to run into obstacles. You know what I mean? Like you've always been the type to overcome whatever obstacle was thrown at you. So to me, it was kind of just like, I'm not tripping about it because we're having this event no matter what. Because first of all, my hotel is booked. So I'm going to be out there. So we're having the damn event. I don't care if it was at the house with a couple of people. Like we were definitely doing this. But it was such a good experience because it wasn't exactly how you had planned. Of course, the main thing, it would have been great to have it in the studio that you just moved to. You know what I mean? So you could not only show off the studio, but just be. It creates more of a vibe, sounding like you know what I mean. So, that didn't happen, and then the location situation, we weren't sure if Buko was going to be able to happen or whatever. So we were trying to come up with a plan B for the plan B. And luckily everything ended up working out. And like I said, I love the way things were decorated. I love the way we had it spaced out. I think it was perfect. I love seeing the rack. I love seeing the rack with the clothes. I just thought that was great. Having the accessories there, like that was really cute. It was just perfect. And it literally looked like a little mini storefront. And it's like, that this is a reflection of what you're going to see when you go into the studio and you see the clothes and the accessories and things of that nature. So it was so good. Like it didn't take away from it. It also, it was in a location where the public were allowed to come in as well. So it wasn't private. That was something that I was thinking about and concerned about a little bit too, because I was like, is it going to take away from the event or is it going to add to it? You know what I mean? It could go both ways. And I feel like anybody that was there just to be there, like really didn't, they respected, whatever, if they were interested in whatever, if not, they kept their distance and that was cool too. And yeah, I just think that's the main thing is like always plan and always be prepared and expect the unexpected, point blank period. It's just like, there's so many things that you overlook, the tiniest things that you overlook until it's happening. And you're like, oh my God, I didn't even think about that. You know what I mean? I didn't even think about this. And it's like, it's so important. It's so important to remind yourself that there's going to be things that take place that you have literally no control over. You know what I mean? Anything from the weather to, you know what I mean, who all comes and who doesn't. You know, like there's so many different factors here, and it's like I said, you were so at ease, and I think it was because you were surrounded by people that you just love and are super comfortable with. You know what I mean? So it wasn't like this uptight event where you had to be super serious. No, like we were laughing, we were drinking, we were chilling. You know, like it was cool. You know, it was really cool, and everybody, again, respectfully, were in their seats conversing. You know what I mean? Like it was just a really great experience overall. And I think that was just like the hugest takeaway. It's just like the preparation, like you said, no matter how prepared you were, just things were just coming, and things come left field all the time. You know what I mean? And anybody who has planned an event knows that nothing, you know, things rarely go exactly as planned, and that's just life in general. So, you know, with the event, no different. So I just think it was just so great. I was excited. Honestly, I was excited. Even like when's the next one? You know what I mean? It don't even got to be a real one, but just like a little networking thing. You know, like it really look forward to that. Yeah, I mean, and that kind of that makes me excited for stuff that we have planned for and moving forward. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was thinking about that the whole time. Like things that me and you have talked about. I just was kind of like, okay, I'm hyped now. You know what I mean? I can't wait to put these things in place. And I was talking about it. You know what I mean? Like we had a good conversation on the way home, just talking about like this and that. You know, like it was super motivating, and it was just super exciting in general.
Well, that's super dope. I will say that I can't wait. The next event is definitely sooner than later, and who knows, I might have to do the next event in PA. You know, because clearly that's where majority of my support system is when it comes to these types of events, and it just makes sense. So look out for that, for us to be able to put something off for you guys, and maybe a pop-up shop. If we can find a location, let's try to do a pop-up shop.
And I feel like we're the perfect location for that. So that would be,
yeah. So you guys look out for that, because we have a lot to offer, and y'all know me. I just try to stay as humble as possible and support as many people as I can, giving you all quality. One of the things that was interesting, and I didn't think of it until it was brought to my attention, was I had one of my brand ambassadors, which is Brianna. She is the one that you see plastered all over the website. She is the woman who is in the clothing. She is the brand ambassador for clothing and accessories. People really didn't know who she was when she was there, because she's such a humble being. She's very mild tempered. She doesn't, you know, it wasn't about her at that moment, even though she's, you know, used to taking those types of pictures and being the face of something, you know. She was very chill and was operating with everybody very smoothly, to the point where people didn't even realize that's who it was until after the, and it's like, wait, is that the girl from the website? And I'm like, yeah, like, you know, they were just amazed. They were just like, wow, it's like nice to see these people who you see plastered over a website all in all, and then you see them in person and they're just like real chill, real nice, and just calm, cool, and collected. That's the type of people that I try to have around me. I'm not going to have anybody who's super extra. Everybody around me kind of has the same attitude to an extent. Obviously, we're all different in our own ways. But I just thought that was something interesting, where it was brought to my attention that they really like seeing people from the site at the actual event.
Yeah, because usually what you see on a website are bought pictures. You know what I mean? Like the pictures are purchased off of another site. Like unless you are really in a position where you can take pictures like of your own personal stuff. You know what I mean? Like it was good to see that. I think it was great. And she was super cool. She definitely was cool, calm, and collective. She was very funny. And I like seeing that too, because again, true to who you are, true to the brand. And it really showed, you know what I mean? Like it was just great that she was there. She, you know, she was present. She was just relaxing. She was vibing with everybody too. And I just thought that was great. So I agree. I think that was really cool. And I'm glad that somebody had pointed that out, actually, because again, one of those things that you don't really even think like, you know, of course she's going to be there, you know, and then for somebody else, it's like, oh, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like this is a real person. She really supports what you're doing. So,
right.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, having a team is most important to me. And I think it's most important to anybody who's trying to start a business and launch anything. Having a team of people who can help you come up with that big day, that launch of your brand and of your products and of your services. You know, so if there's any questions or anybody has any concerns with how to start, where to start, definitely email us. I'm sure we can shoot you guys in the right direction, or help you at least with the first couple steps to get your, get the ball rolling. But this was one event down as Chapter 28 Beauty and a million more to go, so
Yes.
that's it from me.
Yeah. Yes. Well, look, that's the recap. Like we said, now that the relaunch has taken place, we will definitely get back into the swing of things, providing you with more videos, providing you with more content. So next video, I'm super excited about, very dear friend of mine, my road dog, but just a motivational force. He's a cool dude, Texas native for all my Texans out there. Tune into that. But until then and moving forward, thank you as always for sticking by us, for staying tuned in. I'll always, we're really looking forward to, again, the things that we're going to be providing you with in the near future. So shout out to you for just being present and being aware and, just staying on top, you know what I mean? And staying, listening in no matter what, and just still being there now that we had to take our little break, and just understanding that. So I am Ronai with Anomaly the Agency.
And I'm Chynel with Chapter 28 Beauty.
All right. And we will see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.